nobody, you, Marsau, nobody said anything to me or her. Like, even when you, Mel, y'all had conversations, Mel didn't call you a name to your face. She didn't call you a trick. She didn't call you a hoe. She didn't say you interfered with her marriage. This girl called me all of those things.
When people talk about Black love on television, the names LaTisha and Marsau Scott usually come up first. For years, they were seen as one of the strongest couples in reality TV. They had everything that looked like success: a beautiful home, thriving businesses, children who seemed happy, and a marriage that appeared unshakable. On screen, their relationship looked polished, steady, and admirable. Marsau carried himself like the calm, level-headed businessman. He rarely raised his voice, often speaking with the kind of smooth charm that made him look in control, even when saying very little.
What is public knowledge is that he got arrested.
It's a DUI this time, but it could have been worse.
I'm hanging out with some convicts.
Maurice was arrested and got out for the DUI. He was on social media with a bottle of liquor in his hand.
I want to know sincerely how you're feeling in those moments. I can't help what I don't know.
I don't really know if you can help me.
LaTisha, on the other hand, was presented as the loyal wife. She smiled through difficulties, supported her husband, and seemed like the definition of a partner who would stand beside her man no matter what. But what viewers saw was not the full story. Behind the cameras, things were not so perfect. The cracks started to show, and what began as whispers eventually turned into a storm. What used to look like a fairy tale began to unravel, loudly, publicly, and without a filter. The first hints didn't come with explosions, but with small details.
In a moment like this, I think that lesson learned.
Yes, but you can know something, but hearing it from somebody.
Observant fans noticed LaTisha wasn't wearing her wedding ring at some public appearances. Photos of the couple grew rare on her Instagram feed. At events, she sometimes appeared distant, smiling politely, but without the same warmth. Even though these seemed like small changes, people who had followed the couple for years began asking questions.
Going to talk to him about something is going to be a wake-up call. I think it's a tough situation to even be suspected of a DUI.
Then came the digital leaks. A few screenshots started circulating, messages that suggested Marsau had been talking to another woman. At first, it looked like typical fan gossip, but these weren't harmless jokes. They were personal, flirty exchanges that crossed a line. The evidence wasn't vague, it was specific, and it carried weight. LaTisha reportedly received the messages directly from a concerned fan, not a troll looking for drama. At first, she didn't want to believe them. Marsau insisted the screenshots were fake, just made-up rumors, trying to ruin his image. But LaTisha wasn't convinced. That moment was the spark that lit a much bigger fire. What surprised everyone most was not Marsau's reaction, but LaTisha's. Instead of falling apart publicly, she grew quiet, calm, in a way that suggested strategy rather than defeat. This wasn't the silence of a woman giving up. It was the silence of someone planning their next steps. Behind closed doors, LaTisha took action. She contacted a lawyer, not to file for divorce immediately, but to protect herself financially and legally. One of her first moves was freezing a business account tied to their cigar lounge. Reports suggested she suspected Marsau had been using company funds for things unrelated to business. While she was moving in silence, Marsau was doing the opposite. He jumped on social media, dismissing the rumors, throwing shade at fake stories and disloyal women. But fans weren't buying it. They called him out for gaslighting and applauded LaTisha for staying calm and measured. The tide of public opinion began shifting, and LaTisha found herself with more support than ever. What made the situation even more complicated was the involvement of family. LaTisha's mother, Miss Wanda, decided she had seen enough of her daughter being hurt. Quietly, she began gathering her own evidence: screenshots, voice notes, even recordings. Without telling LaTisha, she confronted Marsau with her findings. Instead of feeling supported, LaTisha felt ambushed. She hadn't expected her mother to play detective behind her back. The revelation left her shocked, exposed, and betrayed. And from there, everything exploded. When the cameras stopped rolling, the marriage unraveled completely. The polished, picture-perfect image crumbled in front of the world. LaTisha didn't cry on social media. She didn't post long captions or share emotional videos. Her move was colder, more deliberate. She packed bags, took the kids, and left. She didn't go far, just to an Airbnb on the other side of town, but the silence was louder than any speech. For days, Marsau didn't know what would happen next. He tried to charm his way back, but LaTisha didn't open the door. Instead, she sent a short, sharp text. "You always say you need time to think. It's my turn now." That message hit harder than anything she could have shouted. For the first time, Marsau was the one left scrambling. While Marsau panicked publicly, LaTisha kept working quietly. She hired a private investigator, keeping it a secret from everyone, including her mother and closest friends. She wanted proof, not rumors. The investigator delivered. Marsau's late-night visits to another woman's house in Birmingham were documented with dates, times, and photographs. No one else knew, but LaTisha now held evidence that turned suspicion into certainty. Meanwhile, Marsau continued spiraling on social media, posting cryptic quotes about loyalty and betrayal. Fans saw through it immediately, dragging him in the comments. Instead of controlling the story, he became the villain of it. As the pressure mounted, Marsau made another move, cutting LaTisha out of their joint business. Her name was removed from flyers, she was locked out of files, and he even accused her of mismanaging funds. But when the accountant reviewed the records, the truth surfaced. LaTisha's financial management was flawless. The questionable payments were tied to an unfamiliar name, linked directly to the same Birmingham address. This was the nail in the coffin. For a long time, LaTisha had stayed silent, but finally, she decided to speak out. She sat down with a well-known Black media outlet for a private meeting. A short, leaked clip revealed her saying, "Silence is no longer strength. It hurts, and I won't carry this pain quietly anymore." The internet erupted. Even Melody Holt, one of her longtime rivals, reposted the clip in support. The balance of power shifted completely. Marsau's reaction grew darker. A leaked voicemail revealed him angrily saying, "Remember who made you. You want war? You got it." It was aggressive, controlling, and prideful. LaTisha didn't respond directly. Instead, she posted a black screen with one chilling line. "A man who tries to control you after losing control was never in love. He was obsessed." That single post turned her from a reality TV wife into a symbol of strength for women everywhere. LaTisha's next move had nothing to do with television drama. She filed for legal separation. This wasn't a symbolic gesture, it was concrete. The documents outlined property division, custody schedules, and, most shocking of all, a requirement for Marsau to undergo a full psychological evaluation before seeking joint custody. What began as rumors on Instagram had now escalated into a full-blown legal battle. The fallout spread beyond their marriage. Marsau's once strong reputation in the business community took a hit. Invitations slowed down, partnerships grew cold, and even their cigar lounge faced backlash as customers and colleagues chose sides. LaTisha, meanwhile, rose higher. She gave a speech at a women's empowerment conference that went viral. Wearing all white, she stood alone on stage and declared, "You can't build a future with someone who sees you only as an accessory to their ego." Her words lit up the internet. Speaking offers poured in, and LaTisha stepped fully into the spotlight, not as someone's wife, but as her own person. Another leak soon surfaced, proof of payments Marsau had made to the Birmingham woman labeled as consulting fees. Even his brother Maurice confronted him, asking if he was willing to lose everything for this. Marsau reportedly shrugged, claiming LaTisha would come back. But she didn't. LaTisha moved into a permanent home, transferred her children to a new school district, bought a new car, and even changed her phone number. These were not the actions of someone waiting for reconciliation. She was building a life without him. At the next reunion taping, producer Carlos King promised something unprecedented. LaTisha read aloud a letter she had written to herself during her lowest point. It wasn't about tearing Marsau down, it was about reclaiming her own voice. The room grew silent. No claps, no gasps, just respect. For the first time, LaTisha wasn't framed as the loyal wife or the betrayed partner. She was a woman who chose freedom over appearances. And that was the biggest plot twist of all. At the end of the day, LaTisha's story is more than just reality TV drama. It's a reminder that silence isn't always strength, and walking away can be the loudest statement of all. What looked like a perfect marriage turned into a public war, but she found her power in the middle of the storm. Marsau may have lost control, but LaTisha gained something far greater: her freedom, her voice, and her future. And that's the real plot twist.